the story, the fantastically true story, of Herbert A. Philbrick, who for 9 frightening years did lead 3 lives. Average citizen, high-level member of the Communist Party, and counter-spy for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For obvious reasons, the names, dates, and places have been changed, but the story is based on fact. You are about to see the communists smuggle a comrade into the United States and the subversive methods used to ensure the success of their mission. It's a pleasant change to be able to live 1 life instead of 3. To have only 1 problem at hand, getting a new advertising account. No communists, no FBI. Better check with Western Union, see if there are any messages from the office, and then make your big sale. The advertising business is like anything else. 99% of the time, it's you after the customer, no holds barred. But then there's that other 1% when the customer comes after you. If you have time for extra business, have lead that company operating ferry boat is in market for advertising. Best time to contact buyer between 5 and 6. Signed, Associated. The office never signs telegrams Associated, but nobody knows that. Nobody but the FBI. It's good that the FBI's around, but you don't need them this time. Thank goodness. For a change, this is the advertising man at work, not the communist. It's a nice feeling, like finding a quarter in your pants cuff. Everything, Philbrick? Did you forget anything? Remember the main points? You're okay. You know your stuff. You'll make your presentation and you'll do it right. You've been over it 1,000 times. Now to find Mr. Baldwin and convince him. Get the idea across, the cannery. All the work and equipment that goes into a place like this. You got it all in your layout. Quit worrying, Philbrick, will you? You think this was your first legitimate prospect, your first chance to sink your teeth into the advertising game. This time it's strictly business for once. The pitch is the important thing. Mr. Baldwin? Or is it? I'm Herb Philbrick.
Oh, nice to meet you. Sit down.
Oh, you, sir. Thank you.
Sorry to ask you to fly down on such short notice, but
But the last time we met, the introduction wasn't quite so formal. It was just Comrade Herb meet Comrade William. And I thought I'd landed a new advertising account. Okay, comrade. Make it look real good.
Let's have a look at those layouts. Look. Those should be changed. This is the cannery business, all right, Philbrick. We're selling fish, not the cannery. The thing that catches the public eye must be fish. Now, there are a few more points.
Sure. Business as usual. That's the way it has to look to the guy next door and anybody else within earshot. I'm Philbrick, the advertising man, listening to Baltham, the executive, tell me how he thinks we ought to sell fish. Good commie technique. No matter what you do, make it look like you do it every day.
No, comrades. Nothing so blunt and nothing so slow. Instead, we use committees and the organizations already in existence. We use them to our advantage. Comrade Annie, are you positive that no one suspects you of communist sympathy? Good. American scholars are sensitive to their rights. Stress that. Comrade Burt, with the veterans, lay on the fact that although you are against communism, you are also against losing the freedoms that you fought so hard for. Comrade Druce, your organizations...
It's the same story. Each man has his job. Make sure you do it. Just a typical pro-cell group, getting final instructions on a new agitation campaign. And when they start a campaign, they know what they're doing. These boys are experts on agitation. Just a little meeting to plot the violent overthrow of the government. And they're not kidding. But where do you fit into this, Philbrick? They didn't get you all the way down here for this kind of project.
Comrade Herb will be excluded from the project. You ought to become a footer. Well, is everyone clear about his job? All right, then. We will leave in the usual manner. Comrade Annie.
See what happens when you're a good boy, Philbrick? You go to the head of the class. Better. You get thrown out of school. You become a floater. No more meetings, no more tedious general detail work. No more lectures on the coming victory of communism in the USA. No more nothing, except your special assignment.
You will leave last.
Yeah. We'll have a nice long chat about fish. Red fish.
Correct me if I'm wrong. 1, you know a lot of people in the theatrical world. 2, you have what is usually referred to as contacts between the motion picture industry. Specifically, local representatives of the Hollywood film capital. 3, as an advertising man, it's within your scope to sell a particular commodity to a particular potential buyer. At 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, you will be at Pier 12. You will drive a car which cannot be traced back to you. You are to park at the north end of the pier, pretending motor trouble. You will be contacted by a comrade. He will deliver 2 things to you. 1, a man who is being smuggled into the country. 2, sealed orders where the man is to go. At that destination, routine matters will be attended to, and the man will be provided with a complete identity. You ought to bring the man a loyal comrade and his new identity out into the open. He is to meet the right people of literary groups. He is to go to the right places of theatrical circles. Provide him with a background here, a reference point to be used by our comrades in Hollywood to gain him employment in the motion picture industry. Have you any questions?
About this car that's not supposed to be traced, what do I do, switch license plates?
More than that. The car must be such that if found, it will be impossible to trace it back to you. If there is a leak of any kind, comrade, the entire area will be under surveillance.
Where do I get this car?
That's your problem. Now for the last 2 points. 1, there's a chance that the comrade may not reach shore at all. Therefore, you are to wait exactly 30 minutes. No more, no less. 2, if the project does reach you, it must not stop with you. It would be disastrous. Now to identify yourself, light a pipe, passing the flame from right to left over the bowl 3 times. To a stranger, merely a man lighting a pipe. That's all. Philbrick, who knows, maybe someday you'll fly down here on a real business trip.
Be glad to, when I know your business well enough, Mr. Baldwin.
Goodbye, Philbrick.
Goodbye. thought you wouldn't need the FBI, huh, Philbrick? Just shows you they know what to expect every time.
Besides all the other dirty work I've done for them, they want me to help them smuggle a red into the country. Who, Ray?
What do you know about him?
Nothing much. He's headed for the picture business eventually, if he gets there. This whole thing may not come off.
Could be worse for us if he doesn't. Whenever a comrade comes ashore, Herb, a lot of machinery goes into action. We want to know all about that machinery in detail.
What about the car that can't be traced? What am I supposed to do, steal one?
I wouldn't. If you're dead, the FBI wouldn't know you. I wouldn't worry too much about a car.
When the FBI wants to follow the commie machinery, then you can bet that this will be a smooth operation. You'll get off the boat and without a hitch. And when Henderson tells you not to worry too much about the car, you know the reason. You know the FBI well enough to realize they won't be stopped when they've got something on their mind. We'll have the car, Philbrick. And wouldn't the comrades be surprised if they knew it would be supplied by the FBI? Comrades, Operation Smuggle is ready on this end.
Need any help, mate?
No, thanks. It's pretty bad, I guess.
What seems to be the trouble?
Battery's dead. No horn, no lights, no nothing.
Maybe a push might help. I got my car down here a couple of blocks. I'll go and get it.
No, I wouldn't put you to the trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. I've been in the same fix myself. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Well, but I can call a repair truck.
I can do without good Samaritans. Okay, comrades. Our apple cart just got slightly upset. Let's go.
No, smooth as silk.
Good.
How about your end?
I don't know. The fellow wanted to help me with the car. He was coming back.
This car can't be traced, can it?
Not a chance.
What makes you so sure?
If I told you, I wouldn't be so sure.
I don't get it.
If the gentleman told you precisely why he was so positive this car could not be traced, he would be decreasing the secrecy involving the car, wouldn't he now? And thus be increasing the chance that it could be traced.
You can let me out at this corner. Go to 216 Meadow Lane.
Everything is ready.
The comrades think of everything. Passport, a new phony name, Rudolph Droking, he calls himself. Bank account, pictures of his wife and children back home, graduated Oxford, steady churchgoer. Just a few things the comrades left out. Expelled from Oxford, kicked out of the church. Within 20 minutes after he sets foot on American soil, a complete prefabricated identity is supplied, even his motion picture and theater credits.
A list of foreign associates and their acquaintances in this city. My husband has taken care of your clothes. You will stay with us tonight. Tomorrow, transportation will be arranged to the city.
Then you take over, Philbrick. This is when your job really begins. Wow, look who else lives here. Good Samaritan, huh? Get shrewd, Philbrick. They've been that way for a long time. Tomorrow it starts in earnest. Rudy's introduction to my friends and acquaintances. We may as well make the ad club for lunch, Rudy, and that's only the beginning.
Say the ad club, that's on 8th.
Splendid. And please call me Rudy.
Okay. Oh, good night.
Good night, Herb.
Please call me Rudy. Sure. I'll do that little thing. We'll be pals. I'll take you every place, show you everything, introduce you to everyone. I'll be at your side every minute possible. I'll know you better than I know myself. And so will the FBI, Rudy. They say it's not what you know, but who you know, and where you meet him. They're so right. Mrs. Droking, may I present Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, Miss such and such, Mr. Droking. It's remarkable. I never knew that people are so willing to accept a stranger at face value, plus a few vague lines of background. And if the stranger glitters with a continental theatrical history, they grab him like he's gold, proverbs notwithstanding. He's good at making speeches. He talks about his fascinating background. He's completely convincing. Everybody's impressed. Rudy's becoming an important figure. And in no time, he's a step beyond that. He's an intimate, on the inside, looking out, part and parcel of the great American open forum, the Bull Session.
Midnight? I thought it was only 10.
That's the sign of a very successful evening. Thank you, Eve. It's been wonderful. Good night.
Good night.
Very, very
Good night, Herb.
Good night. Nice to see you.
Good night, Rudy. Good night, James.
Good night. Certainly a very clever man. There's no doubt about that.
See you again.
It was wonderful, Eve. Well, I just loved it.
See you tomorrow morning, Herb.
Yeah. Eva takes the kids to Sunday school at 10 o'clock.
We'll see you all soon. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Rhodey.
Good night. Lovely time.
Oh, here, darling, I'll do that. Why don't you go on up?
Okay. I am beat. See you upstairs.
I won't be long.
Don't forget the light.
I won't.
Good man shouldn't have any trouble getting a clear set of fingerprints off this. And the FBI have some good men, Rudy. And some big files with plenty of room for miscellaneous items under the heading alias Rudolph Droking. Items like foods, prefers meats extremely rare, has a craving for mandarin duck, French onion soup, watercress salad. Books, Shakespeare, Milton, Thomas Mann, Hemingway. If you ever stray, Rudy, they've got a few things to go on. And they're going to have a few more. And it starts again early in the morning. Maybe a chance to get a photograph of Rudolph Droking. He ought to be here any minute. Maneuvering him into this chair should be simple.
Herb. Herb.
Yeah, darling. I'm in here.
Oh, I'm taking the children to Sunday school, honey.
Okay. See you later.
Okay. Hello, Rudy. Herb's right in the library. Go right in.
Change of plan. I leave in 20 minutes.
20 minutes? For California?
Yes, you have the letters of reference. If I'd taken them from you last night, I could have gone directly to the airport. Get them, will you?
Yes, I will. Sit down a minute, will you?
No thanks. Too soft. Nearly crippled me last night. I have a bad back. Hurry, please.
All right, I'll be just a minute.
Add miscellaneous information, alias Rudolph Droking, has a bad back. Subtract photograph of Droking, an easy Correction. Add recent photograph of Droking near easy chair. Just as good.
There you are.
Good. You'll drive me to the airport.
Yeah, sure.
Typical commie maneuver. Change plans at the last second. Just in case Comrade Herb Philbrick isn't to be trusted, it's too late for him to do anything.
Are you coming?
Yeah. Sure. The comrades hate long goodbyes. Long goodbyes are so sentimental. So far, so good, Rudy. For you and for me and the FB. Like I said, me and the FBI. They know everything I've told them, and a lot more. So long, sucker. Yeah. Goodbye, Rudy. Have fun. I'm sure you will. Not for long. You think you're headed for a big job in Hollywood, don't you, Rudy? You could get it, too, if you were all you said you were. There's a fellow sitting behind you that knows better. He knows you were expelled from Oxford, tossed out of the church. More than that, Rudy, he'll see to it that the film industry knows everything there is to know about you. And once they do, they won't touch you with a 10-foot pole. Yeah. So long, sucker. Many fine people have come to America from foreign lands and contributed substantially to the field of entertainment. When the communists tried to hide behind the clean records of this talented group, the authorities lost no time in clamping down on the operation. With this knowledge, the United States is continually willing and anxious to welcome people of other countries that they may add even more to their long list of achievements. Next week, another story from the files of a man who spent 9 fantastic years as a counter-spy for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is the story, the fantastically true story, of Herbert A. Philbrick, who for 9 frightening years did lead 3 lives. Average citizen, high-level member of the Communist Party, and counter-spy for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For obvious reasons, the names, dates, and places have been changed,